Here in Nashville, Tennessee, March didn't begin as a lion or a lamb. It started with ASUN madness. And now the Dolphins and the Bisons clash in the ASUN Men's Championship semifinals as Jacksonville, the number 3 seed, travels down an arena to take on the number 2 Lipscomb Bisons to see who's headed to Sunday's championship game. Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Seaman alongside my son, Justin. It is ASUN madness. It's semifinals. And whoever wins tonight gets a little bit closer to punching that ticket.
Yeah, ASUN championship just around the corner and looking to survive and advance. We take a look at the ASUN bracket. These two teams survived the quarterfinals, moving on 2 versus 3 all time in the ASUN. The number 2 team has the slight edge, 11-9 all time in those matchups. But we know we're getting good for a good one tonight.
Meanwhile, we'll watch FGCU in North Florida. They're tipping off earlier than the Bisons. We'll have an update on that between who's going to happen between the Bisons and Jacksonville here tonight. Let's take a look at a couple of the top scorers in this game.
Well, we've got a great matchup tonight between Jacksonville and Lipscomb, and 2 fantastic players. First for the Dolphins, it's all about Jace Hogan. He set a Jacksonville program record in the ASUN postseason with a career-high 39 points against Kennesaw State. An ASUN championship record, 17 made field goals. He's a little undersized post player, but because of that, he creates some serious matchup problems. He's tough, physical. He's had 20 or more points in 3 of the last 4 games. He's going to be matched up against, arguably, in my opinion, one of the most dynamic scorers in the ASUN in Garrison Matthews. Unanimous first-team All-ASUN selection. He led the way for Lipscomb with 29 points in the quarterfinals against Stetson. Similar to Hogan, Matthews' toughness, probably his defining characteristic. Lights out from 3, but I think he scares more teams with his creativity in getting to the rack.
Well, we are just about ready for tip-off. Let's head to the locker room and listen into the coach's final comments.
Listen, guys, next 40 minutes, worry about doing your job. Do your job. On every action, do your job. Worry about the guy next to you having some success. You got me?
Well, Coach Jasek is ready. I think Coach Alexander's ready. He's speeding up his conversation tonight. I think he hopes that his team will speed up this game too.
Well, I think you're exactly right. And if you look at the series this year between these 2 teams, we had pretty similar games, but the result were blowouts at home for both teams. In Jacksonville put it to Lipscomb back in January. In Nashville, Lipscomb put it to Jacksonville, so I'm expecting a good game as we take a look at the starters here tonight for both these teams.
Well, you just saw the ones for the Dolphins, and you'll notice one that's not there. He's injured and out for the year, and that's the freshman of the year, J.D. Note. And then the Lipscomb starting lineup, it's pretty much a standard lineup that they have gone with here of late, as they will have Marbury and Buckland, Cooper, Pepper, and Matthews as their starting 5 here tonight. Well, the officials are set ready to do this game tonight, too. Bart Lennox will be our referee. He's already told us he'll come by and share with us if there's anything crazy happening in this one, and we have to go to video replay. Glenn Tewitt and Steve Anderson will be his partners on the floor, and over on the sideline, John Dillon is the standby official tonight in case someone gets injured or they have to have a replacement.
We talked about the absence of J.D. Note, the freshman of the year, but last matchup, the big absence for Jacksonville was Devin Harris. He's back in the lineup tonight. That's a big plus for Jacksonville.
Well, he coming off of a near double-triple after he had a double-triple.
Triple-double.
A triple-double, that is, against UNF in the last regular season game. Well, we're underway. Semifinal number 2 here in Nashville. We'll keep an eye on the number 1 semifinal between Florida Gulf Coast and North Florida down in Fort Myers as Lipscomb went backdoor to Pepper, but they couldn't score.
Good idea early, getting Garrison Matthews moving into the paint. That creates so many problems defensively for Jacksonville, and then Pepper on the backdoor cut. Now this is where the matchup Lipscomb's going to have trouble. Hogan, offensive foul though to start the game. That is not a good sign. Hogan, a career-high 39 points against Kennesaw State in the quarterfinals, most in Jacksonville program record in the ASUN championship.
And his first game of over 30 points, but he draws the first foul here inside the first minute. Still scoreless between these two ASUN teams in this semifinal matchup.
Key for both of these teams, manage your emotions early.
Matthews gets the first blood. He gets a three, and Lipscomb takes a 3-0 lead.
Lipscomb knocked down an ASUN best this year for them, 14 three-pointers in the win against Stetson. They'd love to match that here again tonight.
Long three matched and countered as Tanner Rubio out of Florida comes up and gets the three. We're locked with here in the first.
Tanner Rubio shooting about 31% from three this year. Him and Helgelin, best three-point shooters on this Jacksonville team.
Rubio with Buckland all over him. Finds a baseline pass down to Devin Harris, but Harris took a little jitter step. They'll call him for the travel.
Well, turnovers played a big part in the first matchup between Jacksonville and Lipscomb back in January. Both teams got 20-plus points off of double-digit turnovers. I think that could be another key. Whoever can limit their turnovers in this one, create good offensive sets, has a lot better opportunity as there's an offensive foul against Garrison Matthews. So the two best players already in the first 2 minutes have picked up their first foul.
Here's Tony Jasek, the head coach for the Dolphins. In his fourth season, overall record of 56-71 against Lipscomb. He has a mark of 2-7, and in the ASUN, 25 wins against 31 losses. We're talking turnovers. Both these teams commit quite a few. 15, the average for Lipscomb. 14, a little over that for the Dolphins. Here's a long three by Rubio. This one off the mark, but a big rebound and the putback, but it won't go by Hogan. And Lipscomb has the rebound. Matthews quickly to the other end. Here's Pepper for three. Going to be short off the iron. Pepper now 0 for 3 here to start this ball game. Missed a couple inside and then the long trade.
Well, Pepper had a double-double against Jacksonville last time out. 15 rebounds, 11 points. He did have a three-pointer in the last matchup against Jacksonville.
There's a three put up that's no good by Helgelin. And Lipscomb gives him only the one shot on goal. Pepper open for another three, won't shoot this time, but Matthews will. And he got the bounce. He hit it on the back of that iron, Justin. It went to the top of the glass and came back down.
That's what happens when you're a good shooter sometimes. Matthews shooting right at 37% from downtown. And right now, Lipscomb's only points coming from their leading scorer, Garrison Matthews. I think here early, both teams just kind of feeling a little bit of the emotion of the moment, a little tight so far.
Driving a baseline, reverse layup, won't go, and Pepper gets the rebound on the missed shot by Cody Helgelin.
Still, I like what Helgelin did that time, as here's Buckland for three. Tickle the twilight.
3 threes by the Bisons as they are putting it in the book tonight. They'll wear you pin out. Coming off of a 14 three-point night in their quarterfinal matchup against Stetson.
Well, the three-point shot can be the great equalizer or can be the great separator, as far as it can really separate things quickly if you don't start getting out there. And right now, Jacksonville, they've been trying to limit the touches to Rob Marbury, and by doing so, Lipscomb getting a little more open looks from outside.
Hogan puts up a quick mid-range jumper right as the shot clock was winding down. And that's the only shot they'll get. This time they're inside to Pepper. His shot blocked away. He's got to check it. So we're ahead to the media timeout in Nashville. This semifinal underway. Lipscomb hitting the threes to take a 9-3 lead as we head to the break here from the Music City.
At Jacksonville University, I've discovered myself.
I discovered my goals.
I've discovered my passion for teaching.
My first impression about Jacksonville University is the beauty of the campus.
Everyone's so friendly.
You get that one-on-one feel with your professor.
People ask me, well, do you know the names of your students? And the truth is, I know so much more. I know what their goals are and what their talents are.
Jacksonville University is my second home.
Definitely do it. Definitely come to JU.
We can. Look forward.
Commit to progress and a bright future.
Blaze the path.
Challenge norms.
Elevate student athletes to create a better world.
enlighten, and innovate.
Shine together.
For no matter the height of our obstacles,
they will never block the sun.
Connect.
Put student athletes first.
Impact.
Rise. Every day.
Lipscomb University has become one of the fastest growing universities in the Southeast, not by chance or luck, but by a determination to succeed, a commitment to growth, and a purposeful mission of Christian faith that follows students into their professional careers. With the lessons of our classrooms, we work in the world. With the certainty of our faith, we serve the good of all. And with the experience of our past, we plan for the future. We are Lipscomb University.
Lipscomb with a 6-point advantage here at the first media timeout in Nashville and Allen Arena here on the Don Meyer Court. But you look back at the two previous games, Justin, and they were blowouts both ways. The Dolphins got an 18-point victory down in Jacksonville, and Lipscomb got a 23-point game here, and it really was never in question after Lipscomb got that big lead here.
Well, the interesting thing to me in both of the two games, the leading scorer for Jacksonville was J.D. Note, the ASUN freshman of the year. He had 21 at Jacksonville and then 13 here. He's not playing in this game. As great inbounds pass to Rob Marbury for his first bucket. But, you know, you look at the two games, they were almost carbon copies of each other, the way that the home team just dominated throughout. So we'll see what the third round holds in store. I think it's going to be a closer game. I do not foresee a blowout by either of these two teams.
So let's go with an 8-0 run. No points in the last 3 minutes plus for the Dolphins, but that'll be ended as the two-pointer is up and good by Jace Hogan.
Hogan was 17 for 25 from the field. He took 25 field goal attempts against Kennesaw State. That's his game right there. If he's not driving, he likes the mid-range. He said it in his postgame. He really loves the mid-range shot.
There's a long three to the Bisons. It won't go, and the rebound's going to come out to Harris. He likes the mid-range, and he was hitting them the other night. Now he's open down low, but they can't find him. They'll work it back out to Clayton, who just came in after the media timeout. He's got it on the baseline. He'll drive the baseline over Marbury. Shot won't go, and it's tipped out on a long rebound. And Matthews has a 2-on-2 with Korn, who gets the layup and draws the foul.
Really a nice job. Lipscomb fortunate there that the rebound went a little long because Jacksonville had some bodies down low, but because Jacksonville sent a couple to the offensive glass, didn't really have much. It was a 2-on-1. Matthews makes the right decision, and the senior, Aaron Korn, a chance for a three-point play.
A chance to extend Lipscomb out beyond this 8-point lead, which is their largest of the night, as Brameyer will check in for the Bisons as both teams make some substitutions. Marbury will go out. Rose is on the floor, and now up off the bench coming in for the Dolphins will be McCauley.
Well, the big addition to me off the bench is going to be the freshman Jalen Hinton. He's a guy, leads the ASUN in field goal percentage, about 65%. He was 7 for 7 against Kennesaw State. He's kind of the X factor off the bench for Jacksonville, and they're going to look for a big game for him. He's kind of having to take on a little bit bigger role with J.D. Note out with that injury.
He's on the floor right now, as Kenny Cooper just came back in for Lipscomb. He'll try to work through Hinton's pick. And there's a reverse layup that won't go for Harris. But a long three by Rubio just off the mark, and Pepper with a sky-high rebound.
Well, still, I like the way Jacksonville's being aggressive, trying to drive Lipscomb. As there's a jump ball, Jacksonville will get it, and you see the defensive prowess of Devin Harris.
He reached in, he saw Cooper coming, and he alertly got the tie-up, in the jump ball. The possession error will favor the Dolphins.
That'll be a fun matchup to watch tonight between Harris and Cooper. Both guys, Cooper #1 in the ASUN in steals per game, but Harris close behind him, just under 2 steals a game.
Harris on the drive, but his runner's a little short, and another rebound for Pepper. Korn off the drive, spins, it won't go. Got his rebound and followed, but still couldn't drop
Still,
it.
like the aggressiveness, he thought he had the matchup he wanted against Tanner Rubio, so he attacked him. Really, both teams taking care of the game plan right now, doing what they need to do, as there's a steal by Cooper.
And then a reach-in foul on McCauley, the London England native, And that's a little frustration there. The ball had slipped through his hands. You can watch the replay. And then as soon as he saw it, he goes straight toward Cooper to try to get it back. And he fouls him.
And not a terrible foul in the sense of Bakali is a role player off the bench, but Jacksonville pretty limited in their bench. They only play 7, maybe 8 guys.
Dolphins have just hit 1 of their last 10 field goals, and they trail here 14-5.
They've now gone to a 2-3 zone to try to neutralize Lipscomb a little bit. Some teams have had some success as there's a traveling call. I talked to some of the Lipscomb coaches. They expected Jacksonville at some point to go to zone defense. Jacksonville's played some zone this year, but a lot of teams have employed the zone to try to slow down this Lipscomb offense. Lipscomb leads the A-Sun in scoring, averaging about 81 points a game, but when you put them at home, Lipscomb up around 85 points a game.
Buckland back in the lineup for Lipscomb. There's Harris out top, being guarded by Buckland. Here's Flowers off the bench. Over to Hinton on the drive. Shot short, gets his own rebound, battles it back up, and this time he'll be fouled by Brameyer. But you got to give a lot of credit there to Jalen Hinton, the Boston, Massachusetts native. The freshman just stayed with it and stayed with it.
Well, rebounding going to be critical, especially for Jacksonville. Lipscomb, top 20 in the country as far as rebounding goes, especially on the defensive end. Lipscomb gave up some offensive rebounds in the first half to Stetson and then clamped down in the second half. Right now, I like what Jacksonville's doing on the glass. Jacksonville is 11-0 this year when they out-rebound their opponent. So that is a critical stat for them in this one. Right now, reboundings, Lipscomb with that 1 rebound advantage.
Hinton will get 1 of 2. He's only a 55% free throw shooter, and he gets 1 of 2. But he brings his team back to within 8. Against this zone, Buckland and Matthews outside. And they try to go to Pepper down low. Ball went straight up, and Pepper catches it and brings it back. Then he's going to have his shot blocked. And man, what a battle. And then it's blocked again.
What a great defensive play. Didn't go in the shot fake that time. Did Hinton. Hinton, quite the player. And now second foul on Jace Hogan.
Hogan, we'll probably see the replay on this one. Pretty good collision there with Pepper. But Pepper battling down here back and forth and now takes the charge at the other end. You'll see Hogan on the run in.
Well, that is a big-time foul right there. Hogan cannot afford Jacksonville to get into foul trouble. He may have to sit the rest of this half.
Well, he's got 2 fouls, and he's gone to the bench with 12:30 to play here in this first half. Lipscomb now hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes, while the Dolphins haven't scored in nearly the last 3 minutes, and now they're 0 of their last 5 field goals.
Dolphins doing a great job cutting off the middle, not allowing Lipscomb to get any looks in the middle.
Rose for 3 off the mark.
And when you can't get the middle, that means somebody on the baseline is coming up, so you've got to get to the corners or the short corners and then work back to the middle.
To the corner for a 3. Won't go. Matthews has the rebound.
Jacksonville just 2 for 13 right now shooting.
Here's Rose. And I think there's going to be a whistle on the fouls that goes out of bounds, but we're going to head to immediate timeout in Nashville. Both teams having trouble scoring right now, even though Korn got the layup and the 3-point play.
OG, y'all new to the game.
For the fans.
Fight.
To host. Fight.
Look at Chambers.
To raise the trophy.
Well, that's a new career high.
Fight.
To go dancing.
Fight for your court.
I'm OG, y'all new to the game.
A-Sun Baseball is back and in full swing. Mark your calendars for May the 23rd as the A-Sun Baseball Championship kicks off from the University of North Florida. And remember to tune in for all the exciting baseball action, which can be seen on Watch ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. A-Sun Softball is back and in full swing. Mark your calendars for May the 9th as the A-Sun Softball Championship launches from Stetson University. And remember to tune in for all the exciting softball action, which can be seen on Watch ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.
championship action is when the ASUN is at its finest. That's why you'll want to visit asunphotos.com. ASUN Photos is present at every ASUN championship, capturing the action, including those must-have shots that you may have missed or want to save for a memory. We understand your passion, so when you want to relive those favorite moments, players, and special memories, start with the experts from asunphotos.com.
8-point lead, leading 14-6 here. You look at some of the players on both these teams that made it to all conference awards. You got Marbury and Matthews both on the first team, but when you look over on the Jacksonville side, I think Jace Hogan might have had a chip on his shoulder in the first game. He didn't make the team.
Yeah, he was a major snub, in my opinion, from the ASUN postseason, where Devin Harris does make the second team, as you see right there for Jacksonville. But Jace Hogan, third in the conference this year in scoring, 70.5 points a game, and he does not make an all-conference team. And you're right, I think a little chip on his shoulder, 39 points in the opening round against Kennesaw State.
Harris was the defensive player of the year, and of course Note was the freshman of the year, as Rose will miss everything on that three-point attempt.
We haven't had a point from either team in over 3 minutes now.
Turnovers, 4 for Jacksonville, 3 for Lipscomb. Lipscomb now 5 of 16 from the field, and Jacksonville just 2 of 13, and we'll get the illegal screen.
That's the second foul on Jalen Hinton. Now Jalen Hinton and Jace Hogan with 2 fouls apiece.
Hinton and Hogan with 2. That's big for the Dolphins. But I think this little drought for both teams is really, kind of impacting how both of them playing. The door's open for either one of them to go on a run.
Well, to me, the 3 3-pointers by Lipscomb early was a little bit of an aberration, because Jacksonville, very good this year in three-point percentage defense. They're first in the ASUN, and as I say that, another 3 drops, and the scoreless drought ends at about 3 minutes and 18 seconds without a bucket.
Well, that's a 4th three-pointer of the night for the Bisons as Buckland gets it. And we'll get a foul whistled on Rose.
I think it's actually going to go on Kenny Cooper there, who reached in, trying to poke away a steal. To me, this is a critical possession, both offensively and defensively. Jacksonville wants to do something offensively to get a good shot. Past couple of shots, offensive possessions, haven't got the best of look. Lipscomb defensively, you don't want to let Jacksonville get anything simple here. Make it difficult.
Harris on the baseline trying to drive, and the foul going to be whistled on Buckland. And so Michael Buckland, the sophomore from High Point, North Carolina, will foul Devin Harris, the senior out of Tampa, Florida.
I think that's a smart move. Buckland versus Harris. Harris got a little more size down low. To me, that's an either-or type call there, where it could have just been knocked out of bounds.
Harris got by with, he stepped out of bounds down there on that baseline. You can see on that replay, they got the foul call, but it looked like he had his foot on the line. Nice tuck and drive, but the shot won't go there for Helgeland, and the Bisons have it quickly to Cooper. That ball deflected out of bounds. I think last touch by Derek Flowers. He's the Frisco, Texas freshman.
Well, fast break points was a big one in the first 2 games. Jacksonville dominated in January 20-4 in the fast break category. Second go around, Lipscomb fast break points 10-0. So even if you don't get a turnover, get the rebound up quickly. You want to try to outrun the defense. That's where these teams defensively have both started to clamp down a little bit, as there's a turnover by Lipscomb.
Matthews will lose it out of bounds. And the turnover against Lipscomb will be their 4th turnover, I believe. 5 turnovers already committed by Jacksonville. And again, Jacksonville hasn't had any points, at least in the last nearly 250. But here, driving with it is Harris, but he pulls it back out. They've also missed their last 7 field goals.
Well, with Hogan having to sit, even though Jacksonville not scoring, Lipscomb's not either. I would say this actually favors Jacksonville right now, that Lipscomb's not scoring with their best player on the bench.
Well, the Bisons have not been able to get Marbury into their offense. As Cooper will drive, take it up for the layup, and he'll get it. Kenny Cooper is a good driver for Lipscomb.
He really is, and that time it was either choice was a good one. He could either hand it off to Marbury, who was matched up against Rubio. Instead, Marbury cleared out Rubio for the easy layup.
Lipscomb's biggest lead, 13, with 9:28 to go in this first half. And Cooper gets one of his steals, a patented pickpocket right there, and he'll go coast to coast, and then he will lose it, and it'll go out of bounds. But last touch, I think it went off of the fin of one of the Dolphins. So with 9:19 to go, Lipscomb with a 19-6 lead. You can see Cooper as he just takes it straight to the hoop.
Well, you see the big wall put up there by Marbury on Rubio.
Again, Marbury, 2 points in the ball game. They've not really been able to find him down low. But Cooper's driving can sometimes open that up for him. Here's Cooper for a long three. Won't go, and a nice rebound comes down to Hinton.
He's really struggled from out there this year. He was 0 for 8 from downtown in the first game. As great offensive rebound again. Right place, right time for Tanner Rubio.
Well, he missed the long three, but he followed his shot and got the rebound. Devin Harris directing the offense, gets it over to Rubio for a three. That one way off the mark.
I think it was tipped by Cooper. Maybe got a piece of it.
Yeah, he could have got a piece of it. Now low to Marbury now. Then he tries to kick it out, but being at the right place at the right time was Cooper, but he couldn't complete it.
Well, Lipscomb getting a little bit better looks the past few possessions, but not able to cash in on that one.
Fortunate on that tipped off pass there to even get it, but Cooper couldn't complete it. Now Buckland's going to have his second foul.
4.5 minutes scoring drought right now for Jacksonville. But like I said, the silver lining in this is that Lipscomb is not building that big of a lead.
You know, both teams, when they weren't scoring, had a chance to really take it and run with it, and it hasn't happened either way, as Lipscomb will make some changes now as they'll bring in Jones along with Brameyer and Fleming. And Buckland and Marbury will go to the bench, and I think Rose. And Buckland has 2 personal fouls. He'll probably spend the rest of the half over there. Ah, what a pass. And then going to have a foul whistled on Brameyer. The blocking foul is going into the middle. Driving was Antoine Clayton.
Next foul on either team, we're going to be in the bonus.
Brameyer, the senior out of Brandon, Florida, picking up his first foul. Hinton out top with it.
I think this is smart. They kind of moved Harris a little bit off the ball. He's now the point here, but to me, Harris is the real scoring threat here with this lineup.
Thought about a long three was Clayton. He pulls back and then steps in, and just as the horn sounded, banked it in.
Hey, they'll take it any way they can get it. That stops almost a 5-minute scoring drought, but they're just down 11 points.
Here's Korn for three. And the senior out of Indiana gets the three. And they'll stop time to get the net pulled down, and I think that'll take us to immediate timeout. 7:27 left to go first half. Lipscomb out on top in this semifinal matchup in the A-Sun as Aaron Korn puts it in the book. And Lipscomb leads it 22-18 over the Dolphins. Lipscomb with a 22-8 lead, 14-point lead. But as we said, Justin, both teams went through a drought, but especially during this last one, Lipscomb had a chance to really blow this one out. Yeah. Jacksonville stayed close.
I think Jacksonville, even though they're down 22-8, I think they dodged a bullet. Now, the final 7:27, they've got to continue to dodge the bullet and try to get back in it even closer. But if I'm in that Lipscomb huddle, I'm saying, look, we got Jace Hogan and Jalen Hinton both with 2 fouls. Jacksonville just brought Hogan back on the court. I'm going after him, see if there's a way for him to pick up his 3rd foul.
Jacksonville's just hit 1 out of 11 of their last field goals.
And Jacksonville just 1 for 7 from 3-point land, where Lipscomb's 5 for 10. Jacksonville averaging just about 6 threes a game, but they're going to have to pick that up if they want to keep pace with Lipscomb, just because Lipscomb at home shoots the 3 a whole lot better.
Devin Harris running the point. Drives, puts up a shot that won't go, and now he's going to be whistled for the offensive foul. He'll be called for the charge. So that's going to be his first, but it's the team's seventh. It'll be player control, so no shooting this time as Matthews will check back in.
Really nice job by Lipscomb that time. Pepper getting outside the restricted area. Harris, they were setting the play for him out of the get-go there. One to him, work off a ball screen, get the switch, and then take it to the rack. He's got such good size as a guard.
Little trap, double teaming at midcourt, and that allowed Hogan to jump in and almost make a steal right in front of his coach there, across the way, but he goes out of bounds with it.
2-3 zone has given Lipscomb some problems. And what I like the most about it is they're covering the middle very good. And so that's kind of been Lipscomb's go-to against this 2-3 zone, has been that free throw line in Jacksonville. Really doing a nice job covering it. That's where you got to hit it.
Well, they got it to Fleming, and he made a great pass to Pepper to slam it home with the two-handed float. Hogan will miss on the shot, and there was a situation where if Marbury had held his own, Hogan might have pushed off on him, but Hogan did a good job of keeping his presence. As Matthews gets a two, that's going to force Coach Tony Jasek timeout with 6:25 left to go in this half. Lipscomb with their biggest lead of the night. It's out to 18.
Well, and I know Hogan's game is the drive and shot, but really that was one-man basketball. Nobody else had done anything in the offensive set, and because of that, they were just getting down, missed shot, Lipscomb's off to the races.
Well, look at these last two Lipscomb buckets. As Pepper with a rebound, they get it off and head the other way with it. Yeah. Now with the movement, the drive by Matthews and the reverse layup.
Yeah, fortunate Matthews, maybe a hair of a stutter step there, could have possibly got called for the travel, but once he got going with a full head of steam, he gets the bucket, and Lipscomb, 18-point lead. You mentioned it, largest of the first half, and Jacksonville just won that one bucket. That's it in the past probably 5 to 6 minutes.
They missed 11, 1 out of 12 here, and they're just 3 of 19 on the half. As Harris with a nice pass gets it around
on Garrison Matthews.
And a nice shot by Jalen Hinton on a great pass to him from Harris. And they got a chance for an and one and a three-point play. Coming at a good time for the Dolphins. And at the line, Hinton is a 50, just right out of 55% free throw shooter. But he connects on this one, and he gets the three-point play.
Jacksonville, not a great free throw shooting team. They were worst in the ASUN this year, 65%. So you got to continue to try to get to the line. There were a lot of free throws shot in the two games. But if it comes to a free throw shooting contest, Lipscomb does have the edge there.
Pepper on the drive, back to Korn. Good ball movement. Just getting ready to say, this is kind of a dangerous time for Lipscomb in some of their past games as the ball is deflected and the shot clock is going to wind down as they throw it from midcourt. They've had some games where about this point they've given up big leads.
Well, and if you remember in the Stetson quarterfinal, Lipscomb had a lead something close to this, and Garrison Matthews went out with a couple of fouls, Kenny Cooper went out with a couple of fouls, and just like that, Stetson able to tie and take the lead in the last minute of the first half. Jacksonville looking for a similar storyline here in the semifinals.
I'm sure Coach Alexander was not happy with the shot clock violation as the missed three put up there by Jace Hogan.
He's not used to, he's not used to
taking that much time, you know. Inside, Marbury will get the bucket.
First time they've really got the good post entry to Rob Marbury on the lob pass.
Harris on the drive. So left-handed shot rims out.
Well, Harris is getting the looks. He's getting the looks right now off the drive, just not able to finish.
He's 0 for 4 shooting. Boy, there's a three that missed everything. Fired up there, I think, by Fleming.
Fleming misses on that, and tough shot there early in the shot clock for Lipscomb.
There's a nice little move inside by Jace Hogan, the Melbourne, Florida Naval Academy transfer, to get those two. Pepper open out top, but doesn't shoot it. They want to go to Marbury down low. They'll collapse. Two guys on him. They'll double him. Then he finds Pepper. That's great passing by Marbury.
Just unbelievable how good of a passer Rob Marbury is. You see any other post player who's averaging 16, 17 points a game, they're not passing up that shot, but what awareness. Harris came over with the double team, and because of that, Pepper opened on the opposite side.
You know, the unselfish play of the Lipscomb team has been big throughout the entire season, as Korn with a nice little deflection knocks it away off of a Dolphin out of bounds. We'll head to the media break under 4, 3:54 left to play here in Allen Arena. They'll get the ball into Pepper. Let's slam it home. Lipscomb out on top, 30-13. Take a look at the ASUN semifinals in Nashville. You've got Lipscomb leading Jacksonville in Fort Myers, Florida. It's all but over. 3:13 left to go with this live look-in, and the Eagles with an 89-69 20-point lead over UNF. So for the third straight year, to get your ticket punched to the big dance, you got to go through Fort Myers, Florida.
Yeah, it was a 55-44 lead at halftime for Florida Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast hit 8 3-pointers in the first half, and from what I've been seeing, just kind of checking scores, they've been cruising here in the second half.
Well, it looks like they're going to cruise right into a championship matchup on Sunday afternoon. That game will tip at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and they'll take on either Jacksonville or Lipscomb as Pepper, wow, is he taking the rim off or not?
Unbelievable. Eli Pepper brings the house down with that one.
Watch this replay of Pepper. He had a little trouble early in this game, but he takes it down the baseline and look out rim. Wow, his second big slam of the night.
Authority, Eli Pepper.
Pepper with the free throw, now with 7 points and 6 rebounds. And Lipscomb with a 20-point lead, their biggest of the half.
Yeah, and that was also big defensively. That was Jalen Hitton's third foul here in the first half.
Trying to pass it down the baseline. It's going to go out of bounds. So Hitton now with 3 becomes the first player with 3 fouls. And they are still roaring here in Allen Arena after that dunk.
I don't blame them. I mean, it was a little unexpected because I saw the foul coming, and for Pepper to be able to throw it down the way he did.
Pepper has some amazing spring in his legs.
Great
defense
go to
Marbury,
by Hogan.
Yeah, that was good defense. As Hogan jumped in and got that one and made the steal. Nice play there by Hogan to get around. Faked on the 3. Now they work around the outside of the arc. Down to 12 on the shot clock. Driving layup. Nice move there by Cody Helgeland, who goes up. The redshirt senior gets the 2. And at the other end, the junior out of Franklin Road Academy here in Nashville, who started his career at Western Kentucky, Mr. Marbury. He did a nice little reverse layup.
Well, you've got to defensively have your head on a swivel. Rob Marbury good for at least one of those a game. He just outruns the defense.
And now Cooper's going to be whistled for the foul. Got pretty much stuck like glue on Harris.
Well, Lipscomb running into a little foul trouble of their own. Buckland with 2. Now Kenny Cooper's got 2. Garrison Matthews already on the bench with 2. So while Jace Hogan has 2 and Jalen Hitton has 3, Lipscomb now has 3 starters with 2 fouls.
You just saw how Marbury stepped across the paint, did that little reverse layup. Now he's having a conversation down at this end with the official. I wish I knew exactly what he was saying back and forth to each other. As the free throw is good by Devin Harris. Another redshirt senior out of Tampa, Florida.
Devin Harris had 19 points the first matchup. He's coming off of almost a triple-double against Kennesaw State and the first triple-double this year in the final regular season game against North Florida, but that's just his first 2 points of the game.
Almost had one against Lipscomb down in that first game.
He did.
He's a transfer out of ETSU. A former member of the Atlantic Sun.
He had 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists in the first matchup against Lipscomb.
Nice move down the baseline and the reverse that's put up by Rose.
Now Lipscomb getting points in the paint, a little unconventional for them off the drive.
Harris off the left-handed dribble. Works it to Flowers. Out now for a long three. Too hard off the back of the iron, and Pepper and Korn battle. Pepper gets the rebound on the missed shot by Antoine Clayton.
Pepper already with 7 first-half rebounds.
Ball loose on the floor, and Marbury, along with Helgeland, battling for it down on the ground, and then it's going to be a jump ball. The arrow will favor Lipscomb with 1:40 to play in the half. Andrew Fleming back in the lineup, and Kenny Cooper will go back to the bench. Rose drives the paint. Hard off the glass, no good, but he battles for his own rebound and going to get fouled. That's one thing I've seen 2 or 3 times, Justin. Lipscomb, they go in 2 and 3 times battling after their second shots themselves.
Yeah, I talked about rebounding. Lipscomb right now with the edge, 19 to 15, 4th offensive rebound there. What I've liked about Rose is past couple times he's driving. Really, the scouting report on Rose is you got to close out long on him on the 3-point line because of his ability. Shoots about 37% from out there. So because of that, kind of a scouting report break from that, he drives the ball, which that's what you want to do. You want to kind of break some of the trends of what the other team is trying to take away from you.
Well, he shoots 80% at the free throw line, connected on his first one at his 3rd point of the game. Perfect at the line, 2 for 2. He's 0 for 2 from outside the arc, and he's got 1 field goal. And he's got 4 points in the ball game. No one in double figures for the Bisons, and no one in double figures yet for the Jacksonville Dolphins. And Lipscomb leads at 39-17. Well, it's official out of Fort Myers. A 95-72 win by FGCU over the University of North Florida. And so the Eagles will host on Sunday afternoon the championship game in the ASUN, as a nice bucket put up there by the Dolphins. Close the gap down to 19 with that bucket. We'll go inside, a minute to play. This possession by the Bisons. Justin will make his way to the tunnel. He'll be talking to Coach Casey Alexander. Here's Jones for 3. In and out, no good. Tipped around. Nice tip to Fleming. Wouldn't go. He tried to tip it back, and it still wouldn't go. But that was good battle on the boards there. And the Dolphins, though, quickly to the other end. Here's Harris on the drive with a nice bucket. And Devin Harris gets the 2. The Dolphins trying to close the gap a little bit before intermission. Inside 30 to play. We'll go down to Marbury. Back out to Pepper for 3. Won't go, and Harris has got the rebound with 18 seconds.
A big chance for Jacksonville here. Down 17, you get the final shot. You could get this to 15 or even 14. That would be huge.
There's a 3 to do it, Justin. As it's put up by Hegling. And Helgeland got the big 3. Here's Jones. His 3 won't go. So it's a 39-25 lead here at halftime for Lipscomb. But Jacksonville's got to have a little momentum going their way. They did a good closeout here in the final 30 seconds. Let's go to Justin. He'll have head coach for the Bisons, Casey Alexander.
Well, joined now by head coach Casey Alexander. And coach, you build a 20-point lead. You got to be happy with the way your defense is playing. Little run there late for Jacksonville.
Yeah, you can't expect to shut them out, you know. 25 points over 20 minutes is an exceptional half altogether. I'm really proud of the defense. Thought execution of the game plan was really good.
Little foul trouble for both teams. How do you work through that in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, just best you can, right? I mean, you know, it's those hand check fouls we've got to eliminate. It didn't really get us as far as free throws goes, but we had the wrong guy sitting over here with 2 fouls.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. That's Coach Casey Alexander. His team, Lipscomb, up by 15 at halftime as they lead over Jacksonville.
Well, Lipscomb got a big run early, got it out to a 22-point lead, but this one was closed out by the Dolphins. And it's only a 14-point lead at halftime by the Bisons, 39-25, after the Dolphins went 3 for 3 in the last minute 16 on an 8-0 run to close the gap.
Well, and Cody Helgeland, big couple of 3-pointers, and that's why we've got a 14-point game. But Both of these teams now know who they will face. They may not know it in the locker rooms, but it has been decided as the #1 seed coming into the ASUN Conference Tournament, the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. They've maintained home court advantage throughout this, and they will have the championship on Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern time at home.
If there was any crack in their armor, it was late in the regular season when they lost to Lipscomb and Kennesaw State. But they've righted their ship here in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. And the rematch of what was last year's championship game in the semifinals goes again to Florida Gulf Coast. We'll wait and see. Still 20 minutes to determine who that other team in the finals will be. Lipscomb with the advantage here at halftime, 39-25. ASUN Championship semifinal on the Donmeyer Court in Allen Arena. We're at halftime. Lipscomb has the advantage, 39-25. They had a bigger advantage. They had 22-point lead before that 8-0 run in the final minute 16 by the Dolphins. And so I think the Dolphins have a little bit of an advantage going to the locker room, Justin.
Yeah, I really think momentum completely swung in a direction that I don't think either team's necessarily expected, but I think what Jacksonville was able to do at the end of the half, I think that gives them some momentum, some hope heading into the second half. And they did it because of 2 3-pointers by Cody Helgelin, and that gets them up to 30% from 3. They're now 3 for 10.
Well, the shooting percentages favor Lipscomb because when you look at the ledger, it's 9 of 8 for Jacksonville, 15 of 34 for the Bisons. Lipscomb with a 3-rebound advantage. Turnovers, 3 more committed by Jacksonville. Points in the paint, big for the Bisons, 20-8. They have the advantage over the Dolphins. At halftime, Lipscomb with a 39-25 lead over Jacksonville. We'll be back to the Music City, take hopefully a look at a few highlights from this first half when we continue. ASUN semifinal battle between number 2 and number 3. Lipscomb with the advantage, 39-25. We'll look at some highlights from this first half. Neither team has anybody in double figures. This guy we thought would be there, Mr. Hogan, he's got only 4. He's their leading scorer at 17.5 a game.
Yeah, and actually going to see some Jalen hitting blocks. Early on, it was a defensive battle. Antoine Clayton finally gets things going, and then Rubio, one of the 3 threes for Jacksonville there in the first half, as they finished the half on an 8-0 run to close it to 14 for Lipscomb. Kenny Cooper early, he got going, but then a couple of fouls for Cooper. Garrison Matthews, same situation. He was perfect from the field, 3 for 3 and 2 for 2 from downtown. He got a couple of fouls, and how about the thunderous dunk from Eli Pepper?
And Mr. Matthews with only 8 first half points. He's the leading scorer in the conference at nearly 22 points a ball game. But at halftime, Lipscomb with a 14-point lead, 39-25. Back to Nashville. We'll get set for the second half throw-in when we continue. "20 minutes separates one of these two teams from joining Florida Gulf Coast University down in Fort Myers on Sunday afternoon to determine who's going to punch their ticket to the big dance. We got 20 minutes to determine. 14 points separate them right now, and Jacksonville, who had a run in the first half, has the ball to get things underway.
Well, first 5 minutes going to be critical here in the second half. Jacksonville went on that run. They'd like to keep it going. Lipscomb would like to reestablish the dominance they had for most of that first half.
Rubio got hung up in the middle of the paint and really got in no man's land. They call him for the walk. Work the ball down to Matthews. And he'll go to Pepper. And he'll find Kenny Cooper in the middle, but he got his shot rejected out of here. Well, nice defensive play by the Dolphins.
Yeah, both Harris and Clayton over at Helgelin trying to pick up where he left off. He does. Third 3 for Cody Helgelin, and he's got 11 points, and Jacksonville back to within 11.
4 out of 11 three-pointers for the Dolphins as they draw the big 3. First points here in the second half.
Jacksonville's gone back man-to-man as well. Lipscomb needs to find Rob Marbury, but Harris cheating so far off Kenny Cooper.
Marbury with a nice spinning move down the baseline off the glass and good.
Smart by Marbury there. He rotated and spun away from the double team.
Here's Harris on the drive. His shot blocked partially and out to Matthews. He's going to try to push it down to the other end. Goes up for the layup. He challenged Hogan, but Hogan didn't foul him.
Well, Hogan smart there. Played tough defense because you still got to do that, but didn't foul. And that was smart play, even though Lipscomb does get the bucket.
Helgeland thought about another three, doesn't. Now he steps back out. He can step back and fire it if he wants to. Here's Hogan baseline. He's going to drive the baseline. Finds Helgeland for a look for another three. Spins, turns it, shoots it, but missed this one. But he spun all the way around, did a complete 360.
Really good job by Garrison Matthews not to bite on the three-point fake.
Skipped it over to Pepper, but he doesn't shoot the three. He'll give it off to Matthews, who does shoot the three. And Matthews is in double figures and adding to it now as he gets that three. He's got 13.
He's 5 for 5 from the field.
And it's back to a 46-28 Lipscomb lead. Helgeland picks it up after losing. Now he's going to drive, kick it over in the corner. There's a nice driving, running shot put up there by Clayton.
Yeah, really strong move by Antoine Clayton there.
Matthews with another three. This one off the rim, kissed the glass but wouldn't drop.
Fortunate there. That was right in Matthews' wheelhouse in the transition.
Helgeland, he's hot. He's putting them in the book tonight. That is his fourth three-pointer. He's 4 of 6 from outside that arc as Cody Helgeland out of Georgia goes up and gets another three and just put it in the book for him. Here's Matthews to counter. His off the side of the rim won't go. And the rebound out to the Dolphins. They can eat into this lead even more. Here's Rubio for three. This one won't go, and the rebound to Pepper.
Yeah, that would have been big for Jacksonville if it had dropped there. Now, I think Lipscomb really, this possession, they've been settling for a couple of threes from Matthews, which is not terrible, but I really think they need to work through Rob Marbury on this.
Matthews in the corner, going to drive. They get him for the offensive foul.
Third foul on Garrison Matthews.
Leading scorer in the Atlantic Sun just picked up his third personal foul as they got the foul on Matthews. Justin had a chance to talk with Jacksonville coach Tony Jasek. Let's listen into that interview.
Okay, I'm here with Coach Tony Jasek. And Coach, finish on an 8-0 run there in the first half. Got to be some confidence coming in the second half.
I sure hope so. And, unfortunately, we didn't play great. We got stagnant on the offensive end. And, I think our guys will come out with a little bit of energy, a little bit of fire. Hope we can play better in the second half.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Well, Justin, they've come out with that energy. They've cut it down now to a 13-point lead after Lipscomb had stretched it back out to 19.
Well, the three-point ball has been big already by Helgeland here in the second half.
Big rebound by Hogan. Nice pass. They're going to get a chance for a three-point play. They got a chance to get this one down even further as we head to immediate timeout at the 15:59 mark. And Jacksonville taking advantage of that momentum they got in the first half. And here in the second half, even after Lipscomb made a little run, the Dolphins coming right back. They'll get a chance to add one when we come back. It's been a game of droughts and runs, and 2 big runs for Jacksonville. An 8-0 run for the final 1:16 of the first half. And over the last minute 29, a 7-0 run. They'll go to the free throw line now with a chance to make it a 10-point ball game.
Well, and you see how fast it happens, too. That's the thing. I mean, you score that many points or just go on those kinds of runs that quickly, it can change a game in a heartbeat. And Antoine Clayton has been a big part of that as now another offensive rebound. This time it's Harris and another foul by Lipscomb. Right now, Jacksonville outworking Lipscomb here on the boards.
They're outworking them on the boards and on the floor. And that free throw shooter, Clayton, only a 43% free throw shooter missed, but you got to give Harris a lot of credit. He got through the box out and got the rebound, and so now they can cut it inside the single-digit lead if they get a bucket here. Hogan on the drive after Rubio. Everybody in the arena thought maybe that was a travel as Rubio puts up a long three that's off the mark, and Lipscomb will have the rebound. Lipscomb's been settling for the jump shot. We'll see if they do that again or if they try to go inside against this man-to-man. Marbury trying to get open down on the lower
You see
blocks.
what Harris is doing, just daring Kenny Cooper to shoot the ball. Bad pass by Lipscomb, another turnover.
Good steal there by Hogan.
It's such a good move by Jacksonville because it creates a secondary defender on Rob Marbury.
Throw it out top now to Clayton. Get it to Helgeland. He's been big. This time driving the paint. Marbury strips it away from him. Cooper spinning in the paint, and they're going to call a jump ball. He thought it was foul, but the official right on top of it is going to call it a jump foul. As Bart Lennox right on top of that one, and the possession error will favor Lipscomb, however. Lipscomb, no points in the last 2:48.
Difference of opinion by Coach Casey Alexander. He thought there was a clear hold that time. But Jacksonville really picked up the intensity, and the best thing that happened to them was that 8-0 run, gave them the momentum heading into the second half, and they haven't looked back so far. They've got all the momentum right now.
Rose on the wing, doesn't shoot the three. And then Cooper out top. All over him was Harris. Now Cooper's going to drive the middle. His shot going to be blocked from behind, but this time they do whistle the foul on him. I'm not sure how they didn't get a foul on Harris right out here in front of us.
Well, smart move, though, by Cooper. Harris overextends, and they get Antoine Clayton with the body there.
Cooper to the line is a 66% free throw shooter. And he'll connect on his first attempt. The Nashville, Tennessee sophomore. He, too, played at FRA, Franklin Road Academy, just a couple of streets over from the Lipscomb University campus here in the Nashville area, as Cooper connects up both of them.
Lipscomb needed anything to just stop the bleeding a little bit right there. Got the free throws. I say stop the bleeding. They still have the 13-point lead, but it doesn't feel like it right now the way Jacksonville's come out here to start the second half.
Harris thought about the drive, but instead gets it out for the left-handed shot put up by Hogan. No good, but he follows, gets his on rebound, and then out to Hagelin, who's been hot from three, but this one won't go for him.
Lipscomb dodged a major bullet right there because
that would have been a big bucket for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, Korn in and out with a three at the other end. So both teams missing on the long-range shots. And Buckland with the
great one-on-one defense right there. We're seeing some fantastic blocks, and there's the fourth foul on Jalen Hinton.
Hinton will pick up his fourth foul, as Justin said, at the 14-minute mark. And Cooper now, when he gets the ball, he's thinking drive every time almost.
Yeah, and that's the smart thing to do. And he'll get a little quick breather here.
Jalen Hinton will check out of the ball game. Only 4 points in the game, 1 of 7 from the field. Has hit a couple of free throws, has 7 rebounds for Jacksonville.
Not typical at all for him. He was 7 for 7 in the win against Kennesaw State.
Marbury short with his jump hook, and the rebound quickly out to the Dolphins. Here comes Harris up court. Helgeland is the only Dolphin in double figures with 14, as we're going to get an offensive foul whistled. The blocking foul, and it's going to be on Hogan, and that's going to be the third foul on the Dolphins' leading scorer, Jace Hogan. You'll see him come up, set the pick. They call the block on him. And Hogan averaging 17.5 points a game.
Well, that time he had his feet set, but you can't get your base too wide. Looked like that time he got his feet base a little too wide there.
He has only 4 points in this game, but now he's picked up another foul. And he's got 3 personal fouls. Yeah, they changed that rule this year as Pepper puts up the 3 that won't go. And the rebound comes out to Devin Harris. He almost lost it, but got control of it. Well, you can't make your legs wider than the base of your body.
Well, right now, though, Jacksonville defensively doing a good job getting the shots from the people they want to have the shot.
Hogan, nice drive, pullback, jump shot won't go. And Buckland's got the rebound. That was a nice play by Hogan, but he just couldn't get the points, couldn't finish it. Pepper, layup.
Doesn't get any better than that. You show the ball screen high, fake it, cut to the rim, and your defender is left flat-footed.
Back out to a 15-point game after they'd cut it down to, 11, I think.
Jacksonville now has not scored in over 3 minutes.
Helgeland with it, almost stripped away. Spins, works against Rose, puts up the left-handed shot off the glass. He was determined, he stayed with it, and he scored. He's got 14 to lead the Dolphins.
Yeah, without Helgelin, this is a blowout right now. He has kept the Dolphins in the game.
Korn works it. Helgelin did that. He had 12 points in the first game down in Jacksonville, as Rose with a soft little jumper is good. He had only 3 points in their matchup here in Nashville, but here tonight, he's got 16 points, 4 of 7 from outside the three-point land, and he's thinking about firing another one. But he'll pass off instead. Clayton with it, out to Rubio. Drive, instead of trying to shoot a pass, it's lost, but Rubio saves the garbage. Here's a long shot, and I think we'll get a shot clock violation. And so we'll head to a media timeout. They're still battling it hard. We got a long way to go. 11:30 left to play here in Nashville in this ASUN semifinal. Great battle inside. Helgelin now with 16 points for the Dolphins. Give it to Pepper. He's having a good night too. He's got 9 points and 8 rebounds. Lipscomb holding on to a 52-37 advantage in this semifinal matchup. Nice crowd on hand here in Allen Arena and the Don Meyer Court, named in honor of the longtime legend coach here at Lipscomb University, as the Bisons with a 15-point lead, led by 14 at halftime. Justin, it's been back and forth, moving around, but it's hovered around that 15-point mark here. They did, Dolphins that is, cut it down, had a chance to get it into single digits, but it just didn't break that egg so far. But they're still trying, and they're playing hard with it. They've gone to a little full court press.
Yeah, and it's been the Cody Helgelin story so far for Jacksonville. 16 points. He only averages about 7.6 a game. He did have 16 points to finish the regular season against North Florida, but like I said, he's been keeping the Dolphins in the game right now.
6 of 11 from the field, including 4 3-pointers. Here's Matthews driving, kicking out to Korn. Now Cooper into the paint, spins and turns, puts up the little dish shot and gets it.
That's where the left hand really helps him, being left-handed. I think he maybe fooled Cody Helgelin a little bit, because Helgelin played him more to drive to the right side to get the dominant hand, but forgot he's left-handed, and that left some more opportunity. And there's a steal by ASUN, leading steals to a game, and 4-point right there in a row.
I don't know how he hit that layup. He got so far under, he had to reach back and dish it up and get it. But
he leads the ASUN in steals at 2 per game.
And there, he was part of that block that helped get the ball back to the Bisons. Here's Rose. His 3 won't go. And a nice battle, and the rebound knocked out by Helgelin. And here come the Dolphins. Rubio. They'll dish it down, and now we'll have a foul down low. I think it's going to be whistled down against Rose, I believe that time. That'll be the 4th team foul against Lipscomb with 10:06 to play as we approach the midway point of the second half. We'll take a look at Kenny Cooper. Little spin in the paint. Nice little left-handed dish that time, and then there's the steal. Justin, watch this layup.
Yeah, and really uses his body well, knows that.
Well, he's got to protect himself.
Yeah, he got to protect himself.
Because he's only 6 foot, 180 pounds. He needs all the protection he can have. Play it out to Harris. On the drive. Shot blocked, but a foul also whistled. As taking it to the rack was Jalen Hinton.
I think they're going to get Greg Jones on that foul.
See the replay here as Jones steps over to help. You got he and Marbury both were there, but I think it's Jones.
It was Jones. I didn't see too much because both of them. The new rule is you're taught when the offensive player jumps, you need to jump with them defensively. They got a little too much leaning there.
I won't go Jay Billis on you, but I have seen more in other calls at other times.
But you get in a tournament game like this, you force the defense in a bad position, sometimes you'll get the benefit of the call.
10 minutes to play in Nashville to determine who's going to Fort Myers to take on FGCU in the finals of the ASUN. And Lipscomb holding on to a 56-39 advantage, out on top by 17. Here's Jones on the wing. Needs some help, finds Pepper.
See how far they're cheating on
they're
Pepper.
giving Pepper that three, but he will not take it. They were giving him a long three there. Down to 2 on the shot clock. And Buckland's got to fire one. It's going to be a shot clock violation. That is 2 shot clock violations on the Bisons in this game.
Yeah, and Coach Casey Alexander is telling Pepper, hey, just go ahead and shoot that three. Pepper's not got a terrible three-point shot. He hasn't knocked one down in this game, but you've got to make the other team respect you, and sometimes that means if they're going to give you the wide-open look, you got to make them at least think about you shooting that three.
Helgeland off the dribble, gets the ball to Hinton. He's going to drive. Now he kicks it over in the corner. Clayton thinks about it, doesn't. Now Helgeland, he thought about it, now he's going to drive. And Jones got a handle on it, knocked it loose. They'll dive on the floor with it, and Jones will come out with it.
Well, Pepper saw his eyes get really big. He thought he was thinking about a long play down there for maybe an easy layup or a dunk. Instead, Lipscomb gets it and turns it right back over.
Devin Harris got the steal. Ooh, that's close to a basket interference right there. And Coach Casey Alexander said, wait a minute, that ball's in the cylinder. And now the officials may stop and look at that one. I don't know. There's going to be a timeout called. I don't know that they can look at it, but I tell you this, Coach Casey Alexander doesn't look like it. Let's us look at it if we get a chance. It was a 30-second timeout. It'll become immediate timeout. We'll try to look at that replay maybe when we come back, as the coach and the officials still talking about it. Lipscomb with the advantage. All right, let's watch this shot. This is what had Coach Casey Alexander so upset. We'll watch a slow-mo. It's going, but look, the hand touches it, and then he takes it and grabs the cylinder with it. It did not hit the cylinder first. He grabs it and takes it in.
Good no call by the officials there, as far as it was a bang-bang play, and I think just and how fast it happened.
I'm telling you, when you look at it in replay, you look at it in real time in replay, it looks a little different sometimes.
But that's a good job by the officials there. And now a little run by Jacksonville. And
double team in a trap and almost a steal, but instead the Bisons will bust it. Here's Marbury going for the layup, won't go, and the foul's going to be on Jace Hogan, and that is his 4th personal foul.
Well, what a smart play by Rob Marbury. What turned almost into disaster turns into a real problem for Jacksonville with Hogan and 4 fouls now.
Marbury with 8 points in the game and 2 rebounds will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight. The Nashville native, a 74% free throw shooter, connects on the first one.
Marbury's top 10 in the ASUN in free throw shooting.
There's the lead pass out to Marbury, and he just decides to go to the rim and challenge, and Hogan gets whistled for the foul.
And you see that's a little harder for Marbury because he's going on his off hand there, his right hand, so he kind of had to go up with 2 hands on the layup, and that actually, I think, helped him get the foul call.
There'll be 4 fouls now on Hinton and Hogan. They're both in foul trouble for the Dolphins with 8:40 to play after the 2 free throws are made by Marbury.
The interesting thing in this game is you were talking about Lipscomb only having 58 points with 8.5 minutes to go. I think Jackson would say, great, we're right in this ball game. This is right where we want them. Lipscomb averaging almost 85 points a game.
There's a drive to the paint, going to be good by Hinton. Yeah, the Bisons average 81.9. Only 73.2 for the Dolphins defensively against them. The Dolphins 75.2, Lipscomb 77.4. The scoring margin, whoa, as Matthews went flying through the air, but there was no net underneath him as he hit the deck pretty hard. But what I was going to say, because we had those droughts in the first half, when Lipscomb had a chance to really add some points, that's why the score lays where it is.
Yeah, that looked like 2 defenders. Nothing malicious there. Just looked like Helgeland and Clayton came together at the same time, at least from my vantage point on that replay. Well, it just looked like Matthews kind of got squeezed out there.
They're going to go look at the video replay of this one, so they'll go to the monitor. As we have 8:05 left to go in this semifinal here in Nashville. Lipscomb with the advantage 58-43 as we're under this official replay. And I think they've looked at it real quick and have determined that it's just a regular foul.
Yeah,
and it'll be a two-shot foul.
Helgeland came in, and then it looked like Clayton almost was tripping up and kind of just got his forearm there. And you see Clayton, too, going immediately to pick up Matthews. No malicious intent there.
Second personal foul on Clayton. Matthews came out and scored some points early in this half, but then hasn't scored in a while. And at the free throw line, he's finally going to connect on one there. For Matthews, his first trip there. Now, he's gone there a lot this year, 236 times. He's an 80% free throw shooter, and 189 of them. Will it be 190? Yes, it will. Have been put in the scoreboard.
Well, he's 7th in the country in made free throws and 8th in the country in made free throw attempts. That's a real big factor of his game.
I think Lipscomb's the same way as a team in the nation with the number of tips they've had and free throws made. 60-43 with 7:55 to play. Three-point attempt by Hagler. He's been hot tonight. He still is. As Cody Helgeland goes up and gets his 5th three-pointer of the night. He's 5 of 8. He's got 19 points. He's been the big gun for the Dolphins. He's kept them in this one. They're down by only 14 with 7:35 to play.
Those 14 at halftime, so the two teams have played even here in the second half.
Buckley to Cooper for 3. Won't go. There's going to be a foul on Brameyer. He pushed off big time to get position. We'll head to another break here in Nashville with 7:25 to go and a big three-pointer. Cody Helgeland. He's been the man of the hour for the Dolphins.
Helgeland 7 for 12, 5 for 8 from downtown.
Lipscomb advanced to their 4th consecutive semifinals with a win on Monday night over Stetson. Jacksonville got their first ASUN tournament win since 2010 when they advanced here with a win over Kennesaw State. Now they're both trying to battle to get a trip down to Fort Myers, Florida to take on FGCU to see who can punch their ticket to the big dance.
Jacksonville and Lipscomb in postseason play in the ASUN. Jacksonville holds the 2-1 overall record. Last time these two teams met, back in 2016, Lipscomb was the 6th seed, Jacksonville was the 3 seed. Lipscomb won it in overtime, 92-89. And Lipscomb has won 5 consecutive here at home against Jacksonville, but they're clinging to that 14-point lead.
The 2 seed has beat the 3 seed 11 times to 9 times, and it's a battle right here with a 14-point game with 7 minutes to play.
Great pass.
Oh, what a pass. What a play. Making a 12-point game as Jalen Hinton goes up and slams one home. Pepper May got by with one there. Some of the fans think it should have gone the other way, and it was just a no call. Then Pepper's going to fire the 3 and can't get it. And the Dolphins climbing right back into this one, down by 12.
Chance to get it under double digits. Haven't been there in a long time.
And there's another steal by Kenny Cooper. He'll protect it. Oh, he missed the layup. And you know what happened? Harris pulled off of him and didn't challenge him.
Well, really a heads-up play by Harris there, understanding. Didn't want to draw the foul, but he created enough of a problem. As Cooper, though, again with another forced steal. He didn't get the steal, but he forces the turnover.
Helgeland's hand, and it went out of bounds. And it goes off of his knee. You'll see on the replay here, he got a hand in there just enough to knock the ball loose.
There was the great pass, though, from Clayton to Hinton. Hinton has got some hops.
Thought it was going to be the replay of the steal, but it was the other. Here comes Cooper now to bring it across the timeline as we go inside this possession. 6 minutes to play. At a 12-point game. Matthews, under his average, has only 15 in the game, averaging 21. And he threw the ball in the corner, and it almost was thrown away. But Cooper retained possession and then draws the foul. And the foul is going to be on Antoine Clayton.
That's his 3rd now.
He's got 3 fouls, and now back into the lineup will come Cody Helgeland. Helgeland, the 6'8" redshirt senior. He started his career at South Georgia State. ASUN all academic players.
Jacksonville's played 9 players, but 3 of those 9 have played less than a minute. So really only played about 6 players.
There's a long three-pointer. That one may have come from the square down in Franklin, or maybe even 5 points. But the Franklin, Tennessee native, just outside of Nashville, gets his 18th point of the game as Matthews puts a big one in the book.
Now that was big for Lipscomb. And Helgeland right back at him, though.
He just battles it and takes it in. He's got 21 for the ball game. He has kept the Dolphins afloat here tonight. Here's Rose to Matthews. Down to 14 on the shot clock. Bison's deliberate, not just taking time off, but deliberate. Long three, 2 in a row. Matthews has just got in a zone in Allen Arena.
And Coach Tony Jasek, all he can do is just kind of shake his head.
As Matthews with 21, he's at his average, leading scorer in the ASUN. Another 3 attempt, it's up, it's good. Cody Helgeland says, I'm gonna match it. He's got 24.
A new career high for Cody Helgeland.
Helgeland with a big 3. He's got 24 points, 6 of 9 from outside the arc, and he's keeping Jacksonville right in this one.
His previous career high was 22.
Matthews on the wing. Started there by Hinton. Gets it over to Rose for 3. Bison's getting hot from outside the arc. 9 of 25. Rose, after missing 3, just hit his first 3.
Helgeland wants it again, and they need to find him again.
He's calling for it. Got it over on the wing, buckling on him. Here's Devin Harris on the drive, and Cooper knocks it loose again. Harris down on the deck. Rose jumps in. We got a jump ball. Error this time will favor the Dolphins. It'll take us to our break in Nashville under 4. 3:57 left to play. And we'll roll out of here looking at a couple of these long-range bombs.
3-pointers are flying from the Music City. Cody Helgeland, and how about Garrison Matthews? He matches him. He's got 21 to lead the way for Lipscomb.
Last time these teams were battling in the ASUN, overtime. Now 3 minutes and 57 seconds separates either the Dolphins or the Bisons from going to the championship game. And that's what you play for all year, to get to that championship game where you got a chance to go to the big dance.
Yeah, and Lipscomb has not been there since 2006. And with 3:57 to go, they got a 16-point lead. But don't forget, Lipscomb is 10-2 at home. The 2 losses that Lipscomb had at home, they had double-digit leads in the second half and blew those leads. So I think Coach Casey Alexander may be reminding his team as well as Coach Jasek.
Well, it's a 16-point lead as we tick inside. 3:50 to play with Harris out top with it. And here's, right as the shot clock went down, a missed jumper there by Helgeland, Cody Helgeland, and the Bisons get the rebound. Boy, Matthews thought about a 3 dozen. He'll get it to Buckland.
Lipscomb going to do the smart play instead of the quick trigger 3, try to run some clock here.
Buckland in trouble. Finally skips it over to Cooper, who's going to drive in and then get it back to Buckland for 3. Won't go, and Marbury with the biggest rebound of the night with 3:13 to play. Right back to Marbury. He'll work against Hogan, who's got 4 fouls, and then he finds Cooper. What a pass!
He was just waiting for Harris to commit on the double team. Once Harris committed, he knew Cooper was wide open down below the basket.
71-53. Lipscomb with the lead inside 3 to play. And the foul's going to be on Rob Marbury.
And they'll count the bucket for Antoine Cooper. I mean, Antoine Clayton. I think Clayton has played a pretty solid game for Jacksonville. 6 rebounds, now 8 points for him.
So Pepper will check out of the game and Rose will come in. Well, you know, Artis Gilmore did the color on the ESPN3 broadcast the other night, Justin, for the game for Jacksonville in their win over Kennesaw State. And I remember when he played for Gardner-Webb as a junior college and then went to Jacksonville, and they go to the Final Four in the NCAA. That's back before A lot of the other guys around here even knew anything about basketball, right? Long time back.
Long before I was born.
That's right. Rose now across the line. Gets it up to Cooper, who will drive in, and they're going to call a charging foul on Cooper.
Good defense there by Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Got to have that kind of a play.
2:46 to go. Jacksonville still in it. Coach Casey Alexander better be careful over there because he has really got upset over that charging call that just went against Cooper. We'll watch it again.
He's upset. I don't really know why, though. I thought that was really
I mean, his feet are up off the ground moving, but I really thought it probably was a charge on Cooper.
Yeah, I did too. So.
And there's a nice driving play in the bucket made by Jace Hogan, and we'll get a timeout by Jacksonville with just over 2:32 to play. Just over 2.5 minutes, I think. 71-58. And so now the last 5 points have been scored by Jacksonville.
Well, Jacksonville's hit 8 of their last 9 field goals. So. And there's still plenty of time. 2:32. You got plenty of time here. You're down by 13, but still enough time here for Jacksonville. They are down to just 1 timeout left, though. That's the only thing.
They trailed by 14 at halftime. They made a 7-0 run, cut it to 46-35. They got to within 11. And that's as close as they had got until right now as they're battling back in here at 13.
They've never led. Lipscomb has led from the opening tip of this one, basically.
And Lipscomb had stretched it out. Now, this is where the Bisons have some trouble sometimes against the press late in a ball game. As they'll get it to Cooper now to try to work it to midcourt. They're close to a 10-second call. They get it to Matthews just to beat the count. Bisons will take time off the clock, but they're down to 14 on the shot clock. Matthews way outside, looking down low, couldn't get it to Marbury. Now it's to Cooper. They're going to start something toward the bucket. It'll be Matthews for a long 3. In and out, no good. He hit a couple, but misses that one. And as we tick inside 2 minutes to play, we got a chance to see this one get down to single digits.
And remember, Jacksonville went on an 8-0 run in 1:16. It took them about 1.5 minutes for a 7-0 run. They got 1:56 down 13. They're going to get some freebie shots with the clock not moving now.
To the line is going to go Devin Harris after the reach-in foul was called against the Bisons, and it was whistled on Kenny Cooper. His 4th foul. That's big, too, because Cooper's their ball handler against the press.
And from here on out, every foul is a 2-shot foul.
So the redshirt senior out of Tampa, Florida, will get the first free throw as Cooper reaches in and fouls it. Second one will go up, and it is an 11-point game. And Cooper out of the double team, gets it to Rose, who's quickly double teamed. Bison's trying to figure out how to bust this press. Here's Rose having some trouble. Finally gets it to Cooper. Now they'll get it to Matthews, down to Marbury. Two-handed dunk.
Well,
they had trouble at midcourt, but once they got it down low, they got the slam.
They gambled at midcourt, and you can do that. When you're down, you got to, but if you break it, it's a dunk.
Here's the long 3. Cody Helglin went up with it. He has been dynamite from there tonight, 6 of 9, but that one didn't fall when he really needed one. Double team. I think Matthews calls a timeout. Smart play by the junior out of Franklin, Tennessee, to call the timeout as he was trapped here at midcourt. Well, this is very good play here. The defensive pressure put on by Jacksonville, but when they double team, it allowed Marbury to get open, and Lipscomb was able to get the passes in there. It's just that thin ice. It's very close to when you get those passes and get it down there for that dunk.
Well, a heads-up play by Matthews, understanding time and situation. You want to keep possession here with 1:19. You get doubled right in the corner, just blow your timeout. Go ahead, and now you got 23 seconds still on the shot clock.
1 timeout for the Dolphins, 2 timeouts for the Bisons. A 13-point game with 1:19 to play. The winner here heads to Fort Myers, Florida, to take on the Eagles of FGCU to determine who's going to the NCAA Big Dance. And Buckland across the timeline. You wonder if they start fouling here or not as the time starts ticking away. Here's Cooper over to Rose, and we are at 1:05. Time is a big factor now against the Dolphins. 1 minute to play. Matthews driving, spinning, layup won't go, but he'll draw the foul.
With 1 second on the shot clock, he draws a foul.
Something we haven't seen a lot out of Matthews tonight, but that's one of his best plays.
Well, and I think he fooled Helgeland just a little bit there, because normally shot clock winding down, Matthews wants to kind of give you a juke and then pull up from three. Instead, he just went on to the basket.
He's an 80% free throw shooter, and he used every bit of the iron that time to get that one. To stretch the lead back to 14, that's where we were at halftime. He's above his average now at 22, 7 of 10 from the field. Perfect at the line, and he remains perfect. As Pepper will come in and Rose will go out. A little offense-defense for the Bisons with 57.1 to play in a 15-point game. There's a Rubio three-pointer that was probably partially blocked. Then they'll make some nice passes down in the paint, and the last timeout by the Dolphins after the dunk by Hogan. And Hogan now with, I think that's his 8th point of the game, maybe just his 6th.
Well, Hogan, 39 points, and ASUN championship Jacksonville record, career high for him against Kennesaw State. In the 3 matchups, though, here against Lipscomb, he has struggled. 4 for 10. He's just got 8 points. In the 2 previous regular season matchups, only 9 points in both of those games. Lipscomb has done a nice job containing him.
He also averages and had 8 rebounds in the game the other night when he got those 39 points. And here tonight, as you said, they've held him to 8 points. He's got 6 rebounds. Hinton with 12 points. The big guy has been the redshirt senior Cody Helgeland, who has put the threes in tonight for the Dolphins. 6 of 10 from outside the arc, as they are 7 of 21.
He's got a career high in points and also a career high in made 3-pointers in a game. His previous, he had 5 3-pointers 2 times previously.
Lipscomb 9 of 28 from outside the arc. They've got 3 in double figures. Barberry with 12, Cooper with 10, and Matthews with 23 here tonight. Lipscomb with 45 seconds. They're going to fall below their average, but the score is itching up a little bit right now as it's a 75-62 game.
Well, the average scoring is the least of their concerns right now. All they want to do is figure out how to bleed the final 43.3 seconds.
And this is what they had trouble with the last time they played Florida Gulf Coast down in Fort Myers in the game they won. Florida Gulf Coast made the big comeback on them because they got them with the press. Lipscomb gets by it this time, and then Rose is going to be fouled. But they were throwing the ball away every which way and almost gave that game away down there.
Yeah, and I know you want to take some time off the clock, but really, Lipscomb, if they break the press, it's been a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-nobody, so you might as well go ahead. You know the foul's coming, and Rose is one of your better free throw shooters.
Well, he's a Lexington, Kentucky native. He's an 80% free throw shooter, and he's nothing but 9 line on his first one. He's averaging 8 points a ball game for the Bisons. Had 15 in the game the other night against Stetson. In the 2 games against Jacksonville, 2 and 8, but that was before some of his three-point shooting has come around, as he gets both the free throws to extend the lead to 77-62, and Rose now in double figures with 11 points.
He's had a solid game. He's done more than his typical just kind of three-point shooting, what he's known for.
Lead is back to 15 with 30 seconds to play. And I think the fans in Allen Arena are beginning to sense that they're headed back to the championship game for the first time since 2006 as a traveling call on Cody Helgeland. And you wonder if Coach Jasek just might call them off right now with 24 to play, and I think he is. I think he's told them to just pull back, and the fans in Allen Arena are on their feet. Their Bisons were picked number 2 in the preseason. Florida Gulf Coast was picked number 1 by coaches and the media. Justin, it's played out. Number 1 and number 2 are going to play Sunday afternoon in Fort Myers, Florida, as Florida Gulf Coast University will host Lipscomb University to see who's going to punch their ticket. And Lipscomb University, for the first time since 2006, are headed to the championship game of the ASUN after a battle tonight here with the Jacksonville Dolphins.
Well deserved for Lipscomb. They built that big lead in the first half, but give credit to the Dolphins. They made it a game at halftime. They came out strong the second half, but Lipscomb just too much for too long, and the Bisons are headed to the ASUN championship.
15-point win for Lipscomb over Jacksonville, 77-62. they're headed back. ASUN Madness is going to Fort Myers for the championship game. It's Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central on ESPN3. So for Justin Seaman, I'm Jonathan Seaman saying so long from Nashville, where your final score between Lipscomb and Jacksonville. Lipscomb wins it 77-62 in the semifinals of the ASUN. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live on the ESPN app. Or to watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.